Fantasy Freaks and Geeks. What's going on? James Coe here with you. 15 to 20 minutes is all I need to walk you through this wacky world of fantasy football. All right, listen, yesterday we talked about the waiver wire. Today I want to talk a little bit more about, deeper cuts here in terms of who might be available on the waiver wire now that the waiver wires have run. Players that if you're in a deeper or more competitive league, let's say you're in a 14-teamer, let's say you're in maybe it's a 12-teamer with a super long bench. These are players that should be widely available after waiver wires run, and that got a little bit of potential here. And as a matter of fact, if these guys are not available, think about maybe trading for them as well, because I do think these guys have some interesting upside. Again, we did talk about Cedric Tillman yesterday, and I just want to reiterate the fact that he did play that outside X role for Cleveland. He's going to be paired potentially here with Jameis Winston. I hope Cleveland doesn't do something wonky and stupid and, they try to, rush back Tyler Huntley for some unknown reason. I mean, can I go off on a tangent here for a second? I don't understand, and maybe this is a flaming hot take. I don't know what it is, but I don't understand what Cleveland and Miami are doing with their backup quarterback situation, right? You've got a guy in Kevin Stefanski who has shown you what he can do with a quarterback that can play under center. And the mixture of Deshaun Watson, who is a pure shotgun passer, and Kevin Stefanski, it's been worse than oil and water. I don't know what is worse than oil and water, but it's worse than oil and water. These guys just don't go together. You know what I'm saying? And they've been sticking with Deshaun Watson and good for Stefanski anyways that Deshaun Watson got hurt, and now he gets to potentially bring in Jameis Winston, who I think is just going to be a much better fit for the Stefanski scheme. Now, that being said, I'm ranting and raving here because I'm looking at their backup quarterback situation. I'm saying to myself, of all the quarterbacks that I would not want as my backup quarterback in Cleveland, don't give me a mobile guy that doesn't know how to navigate the pocket. I don't want, DTR or Tyler Huntley there in Miami. I don't want DTR. Listen, nothing against DTR. I'm a Pac-12 guy, so I watched him play a lot at UCLA. I'm just saying, Dorian Thompson-Robinson is not a pocket passer, period. This offense doesn't make any sense for a player like that. It makes no sense whatsoever. Anyways, same thing in Miami. My God, what Mike McDaniels is doing down there, it only works with a functional pocket passer. It only works with and yet the backups that they bring in are all these mobile guys. Even Skylar Thompson is a mobile guy. What are we doing? I don't know if that's a Mike McDaniel thing. I don't know if that's a Stefanski thing. I don't know if it's just the front offices who just do not understand offensive scheme and pairing that with talent. I don't get it. I really do not understand it. I don't understand it at all. If you're Miami, why did you not go and bring in Joe Flacco to be your backup? If Tua goes down, and by the way, it's not as if his concussion history is new. We already knew that this guy's got a concussion history. What are we doing, Miami? Why not make an offer and go bring in Joe Flacco? Joe Flacco in this Miami system perfect. Would have been absolutely ideal. Would have been amazing. But no, we've basically got whatever we've got in Miami right now. It's been an absolute train wreck. My God. Anyways, okay, so that's Cedric Tillman. We like Cedric Tillman with Jameis Winston. If it's not Jameis Winston, we're off of Cedric Tillman, period. Okay, we talked about Sterling Shepard as well. I'm actually surprised. More people are really... I'm seeing a lot of waiver wire columns, and I'm seeing, against the transaction trends and all that kind of stuff. More people seem interested in Jalen McMillan than Sterling Shepard, even though Sterling Shepard is just flat out outplayed Jalen McMillan. I'm curious to that. I'm very curious to that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. So for me, I think Sterling Shepard, by far the more interesting player there in Tampa Bay. Okay, listen, everyone went and if Jawan Jennings was not already taken, he was a super popular waiver wire ad because, again, we saw him put up 45 PPR points. Everyone's going to be enamored with that. Okay, now if you missed on that, two players that I think are really interesting there, first-round pick, Ricky Pearsall. Again, he missed most of training camp with an injury. He missed all of the beginning of the regular season, obviously, with a freaking gunshot wound. Okay. Unbelievable. Okay. Sadly, one of the funnier things I saw coming out of San Francisco was somebody who tweeted out, Ricky Pearsall is coming back to the Niners before Christian McCaffrey, and he got shot in the chest. Damn. Damn. That's rough. Anyways, I am interested in Ricky Pearsall, potentially filling that Brandon Ayuk role, but also kind of sort of keep an eye on Jacob Cowling, right? He's a rookie slot receiver for San Francisco, and just keep a little eye there. I think he's got some potential. I am very interested in what his offensive capabilities could look like in a Shanny system. So again, the two names, and again, man, if you're taking a look at Jacob Cowling, you are in the deepest of the deepest leagues. But again, you come to the Sleeper King for picks like this. You know what I'm saying? You come to the Sleeper King for picks like this. I don't mind wading through the trash. I don't mind wading through the dirt, baby. That's what we do over here with the Sleeper King Football Podcast. Anyways, okay. I'm also going to take a look at Jordan Whittington. This is really interesting, guys. Jordan Whittington was one of the most dropped players this week, and I get it. Did absolutely nothing. I think a literal zero spot. Did he even see a target? I'm going to look this up. Jordan Whittington. Did this dude see a target in week number 7? No, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Zero. My God. So I understand why people are dropping him in mass. Can I just say this, though? If we are to believe the trade rumors of Cooper Kupp, and they sound very credible, Jordan Whittington is a player that I absolutely must have on my roster. Because, look, Puka Nacua is set to return very, very soon. If not this week, then very, very soon. Right? Cooper Kupp is set to return this week as well. Now, here's the thing. If after the game, I love this conspiracy theory too. I saw this conspiracy theory online that Minnesota and LA basically have a trade in place. They're ready to rock and roll. They're going to put pen to paper on Cooper Kupp going to Minnesota. Because remember, Kevin O'Connell, has all that stuff. There's a lot of, connective tissue between Kevin O'Connell and Cooper Kupp and the Rams and all that. Okay. But they're playing on Thursday night. So you wouldn't trade him to Minnesota to then go play again. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't trade him to Minnesota and then go play him on Thursday. That'd be weird. But the conspiracy theory out there is that this deal's already done. I don't know if that's true, but it's really interesting if it is true. Okay. That being said, what does Cooper Kupp play? I talk about alignment a lot on this podcast, right? That's why I like Sterling Shepard. I think he fills that Chris Godwin role really well. Okay, Jordan Whittington fills that Cooper Kupp role because Cooper Kupp is primarily an inside wide receiver. He's primarily a slot guy. So when Puka comes back, gentlemen, what's going to happen is that Puka is going to eat into Demarcus Robinson's workload. He's going to eat into Tutu Atwell's role, two guys that have been playing on the outside. He's going to again cannibalize their touches, their snaps. But you really can't play Tutu Atwell as a slot receiver. Demarcus Robinson has some inside receiver chops, but again, if he was that dude, trust me, Sean McVay would have already put him on the inside and playing as that dude. That's not the case. He plays almost exclusively as an outside wide receiver. Jordan Whittington is more of a 50-50 inside-outside guy, and that right there is exactly what we're looking at here when we're talking about the Cooper Kupp role on this offense. So, yeah, you want to hold on to Jordan Whittington. You're not playing Jordan Whittington this week, but get ahead of the waiver wire. You know what I'm saying? That's why you make these free agent pickups to stash guys on your bench. Jordan Whittington might be that dude. If Cooper Kupp gets moved, Whittington, man, the ceiling for him gets a lot higher. All right. I scoured the waiver wire looking for a running back, and there's just not that much out there, guys. There's really just not that much out there. But one savvy move that I think you can make is picking up Marshawn Lloyd. widely available. I think over 90% availability, if I'm not mistaken, in regards to Marshawn Lloyd. Let's take a look. I'm going to take a look here for you real quick. But again, if he is out there, and again, I do think that he is pretty available. He's rostered in 5% of leagues right now on Yahoo. So available in 95%. So almost everyone should have Marshawn Lloyd on the waiver wire right now. Now, he is not set to return. It doesn't look like anyways for week number 8. But in week number 9 and moving forward, I think he might be back. I was trying to be a little bit bullish on Emmanuel Wilson, and it hasn't worked out. He's just not that level of an athlete that he's going to make a big impact here. Okay. But again, I do wonder if Marshawn Lloyd comes back in week number 9. It's actually a good spot for him too. If he comes back in week number 9 in a divisional game against Detroit where they're going to need him, he can then rest up on the bye week in number 10 and then just finish out the rest of the season. Now, you could also make the case that Lloyd's going to sit out through the bye week, through week number 10, and then come out to finish out the season strong. Now, that's obviously very possible as well, but I just wonder if they want to have all hands on deck when they go and play Detroit. That would just be my one little thought. Either way, having Marshawn Lloyd and sticking him onto your IR spot in your league, I think that's a very savvy move. He's really close to returning, and I want to see. And again, we know what LaFleur does. He mixes up his running backs. He's going to give Marshawn Lloyd 35 to 40% of the snaps. I don't know if he gets 35 to 40% of the touches, but he might. This dude's a talented player, is Marshawn Lloyd, so I want to invest in these kind of guys for sure. One other guy, Jameis Winston. He's taken on Baltimore. And again, there's no teams on a bye. There's really not that many sleeper picks at quarterback either. I'm kind of sort of looking through that list, and I was struggling to find anybody that I really like. But Jameis Winston is the one guy where I'm saying to myself, man, this guy could absolutely have a blow-up game against Baltimore. The Ravens have allowed the third most fantasy points per game to the quarterback position, and they've given up 20-plus fantasy points to 4 of their last 5 quarterbacks that they have faced. In fact, they have given up 29 plus fantasy points in 3 of their last 5 games. Baker tagged him. Joe Burrow definitely tagged him. I think he got 5 touchdowns in that ball game. And Dak Prescott, 30 points in their matchup as well. Randomly, Jaden Daniels, who did score 20 points, and Josh Allen, who scored, I believe, 8 points in their matchup against Baltimore, were the 2 worst of that group, which is a very, kind of a surprising stat line right there. Anyways, Jameis Winston is in a really, really good spot. Baltimore is dead last in passing yards allowed, and they're tied for the 4th most touchdowns allowed to quarterbacks as well. And oh, by the way, one of their top secondary players, Marlon Humphreys, left the game with a knee injury. He's going to be either questionable or just flat out in this game against Tampa Bay. I don't know. Tampa Bay. I'm saying Jameis Winston, Tampa Bay, man. That's where my brain is at, bro. Against Cleveland, okay? I don't know if Stefanski is going to make Jameis the starter as we are recording here on Tuesday night. But, man, they would be absolutely insane not to do that. So let's see. Let's see if Jameis Winston gets the nod. I think he will. All right, let's talk about some injuries we're tracking and get the heck out of here. DK Metcalf is dealing with a knee injury. There's really no replacement value, guys, here. But we will bump up Tyler Lockett and JSN if DK Metcalf misses this game. And it sounds as if he's definitely trending towards not playing in this ball game. Man, when is Jonathan Taylor going to be coming back? This dude has not practiced in weeks. Will he finally suit up this Sunday? I'm not sure, but certainly that is an injury we are tracking. I think even if he does go, guys, I think Tyler Goodson does have some sleeper appeal because I doubt that Jonathan Taylor will be in any kind of game shape or if they want to, again, if he's missed this much time, are they really going to give him 100% snap share? That doesn't make any sense to me. That would not make any sense to me. So I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, we just got done talking about Tua Tagovailoa and the whole Miami debacle right there, right? So Tua is back practicing. There's a question as to whether or not he's going to play. If he goes, Tyreek and Jalen Waddle are back on the menu, boys. I mean, Waddle has been straight up unplayable. Unplayable. He has had one double-digit PPR game all year long, and that was back in week number 1. Oof. That's tough. Over his last 4 games, Jalen Waddle has averaged 6.22 PPR points per contest. That is disgusting. That is disgusting, dude. What? 6.22? That's like averaging 3 catches and 30 yards per game, bro. What? That is insane. That's craziness. Anyways, it's not as if Tyreek's been appreciably better. Okay? My dude Tyreek's averaging 7.6 PPR points per game over his last 4. So it has just been a debacle. It's been an absolute debacle. If Tua does not come back, the Dolphins right now might be rolling out Tim Boyle as a starter. Oh my goodness. Okay, anyways, Jaden Daniels is a week-to-week right now with that rib injury. I mean, this is my take based on absolutely nothing. I'm not a medical expert or anything, but I do not think that he's going to play. I mean, I think we might see Marcus Mariota here in week 8, which is a little on the gross side, but that's okay. Listen, Washington, don't go full RG3 over here, okay? He's the franchise. This guy's the future. Let the kid heal up. All right, and finally, Curtis Samuel is dealing with the shoulder injury. If he does miss time, it obviously opens up a lot more target share for the likes of Keon Coleman and Amari Cooper. Curtis Samuel, I don't know what is the deal with his foot. I know he had turf toe right before the season started, but it seems as if it has absolutely sapped him of everything. So right now, Curtis Samuel dealing with that shoulder injury now too, though. So again, if he does miss that time, and quite honestly, I think with the addition of Amari Cooper, I think this team would be very smart, as a matter of fact, to let Curtis Samuel just completely heal up, get all the dogs together, and just get crazy towards the end of the season. Peak at the right time. You don't need to be peaking right now in late October, that's for sure. Peak in December, man. Get Curtis Samuel healthy, and that wide receiver core, I think, will be one of the best, actually, in the NFL when we're talking about Curtis Samuel, Amari Cooper, Keon Coleman, a developing Keon Coleman. And, dude, Khalil Shakir just cannot drop a pass. I mean, the dude's catching everything under the sun. He's got a 90% catch rate. Unreal. Unbelievable. I think I'm actually shortchanging him, too. I think he's like over 95%. Insane. But that, quadruplet of wide receivers, that's a strong group right there. That's a strong group. Anyways, we got to go, man. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be talking about sleepers. Until then, if you guys would subscribe to the podcast, obviously go check out the website too, sleeperkingfootball.com. But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Till then, remember, it's never too late to chase your dreams. Peace.